Hi, I'm Patrick Sullivan, and this is a recurring insight. For this episode, I'll be talking about Capsize, which is one of the worst designs of all time, both as a discrete game piece and as being emblematic of why an entire mechanic is troubled. So tune in to this stinker.
Capsize features the mechanic buyback, and it's probably the most iconic of the buyback designs that originally appeared in Wrath Cycle. Mark Rosewater has mentioned in articles that most mechanics, if not all mechanics, can really distill down to either being a split card or a kicker card. Most mechanics you see give you a way of playing the card more than one way, and kicker and split cards kind of absorbs a lot, if not all of that space. Buyback predates both of those mechanics, and it might be really the first stab of having a mechanic that could be entirely encapsulated by modality. Capsize kind of fails that test though, in terms of fun. And buyback kind of generally fails that test too, because there are a lot of cards out there, even if it's the opposing player playing it, and even if it's powerful, that can be fun once, that is not fun over and over again. There are a couple of buyback designs. Slaughter and Flowstone Flood come to mind as two designs that involve paying life, because it's not that much fun for kill target creature just be a face-up card in your opponent's hand for the whole game. And it's certainly not that much fun for Stone Rain to be a face-up card in your opponent's hand the whole game. So there's a hope that you can actually get out from the repetition. Capsize is just mana, and it's pretty strong on rate, at least it was at the time. But it's definitely not trivial in power. It doesn't solve the play pattern issues. When I believe that you have a boomerang in your hand, even if it's a spot where boomerang is powerful, let's say I have a creature and I'm trying to get a creature enchantment onto it, that could be a fun cat and mouse game. I can try to wait for your shields to go down. I can try to bait out the boomerang some other way. Capsize takes that sort of dynamic and shuts it down for the entire game. There's no longer really an opportunity for me to play through it. And if I don't do something that commits you to cast the Capsize, you can just do it at my end step on whatever is the most appealing target. That is a fatal flaw that sort of rolls through a lot of the buyback cards. What alleviates it is not every card with buyback is good in every single spot. Something like Fog, for example, and Fog with buyback is a really problematic design. But at least Fog is not something you necessarily want to cast every single turn. There's an opportunity cost to it. And the flashback on Constant Miss is sacrificing a land, so it's sort of assumed that it's hard to keep going for the entire game. Raise Dead with buyback, much the same thing. Eventually my graveyard's going to run out of stuff, or my mana might be encumbered in some other way. Because Capsize plays to the battlefield, and because it's only mana, it really makes the game a lot less fun when it shows up. Buyback, super influential keyword, way ahead of its time, really laid the foundation for a lot of the future mechanics, but fortunately, a lot of those future mechanics were much better executed, and buyback has sort of been relegated to the background, doesn't really show up anymore. And designs like Capsize really highlight some of the sort of structural flaws of the mechanic that if you aren't really proactive in addressing, are going to doom the mechanic to be really repetitive and really unfun.
So that was Capsize, and this is Recurring Insight. From here, a couple things you can do. Give us a subscribe over the Star City Games YouTube page, and give this video a like. Head over to the comments too. Let me know any cards you want me to talk about. I am now actually posting there, I think, under the username Patrick Sullivan. So I will be in the comments engaging with you on that extremely healthy and productive social media apparatus. We have a couple more episodes in the can. They're going to involve some designs I actually like. So if you're interested in some thoughts on designs old and new that I actually think are well executed, they'll be coming down the pipeline in a couple weeks.